In this video, I'm going to talk about the patterns that I see on the stock charts of NIO, Zoom, Alibaba, PayPal, Fuelcell, and Pfizer. Let's jump in. Okay, I've got TradingView pulled up and we are going to jump into these charts because there are some patterns on them that I think can project certain price action. But before I get into that, I just want to say if you are not a subscriber yet and you are watching this video, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy technical analysis, stock chart pattern analysis, things like that. Okay, so let's start with our first stock, that is NIO. Let's get into NIO. So I've been talking on this channel for a little while about these bull pennants that I see on NIO's stock chart. And I actually drew this big bull pennant right here before it had even formed. I said all of these bull pennants that have been forming on this stock, I wouldn't be surprised if another one played out. We were at the top of this giant flagpole that we were putting in, and I said, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if we put in another bull pennant. So I drew it out, hypothetical bull pennant, and we pretty much played out to a T this bull pennant, and now we are breaking out of it. So that means we have I would say maybe one more candle to get that confirmed breakout above the resistance of the top of the bull pennant, and then we can head to our price target. We are going to have a new price target on this one because we didn't chop out all the way down, so we're not starting our bull we're not starting our new bull trend all the way out here. We're starting it right here, right? So to get that new price target, we take this flagpole, we just copy it and paste it, and we're going to move it and start it where the new bull trend starts. So we're going to say that it starts right here, right? Because that's the bottom of this little dip. This is where our new bull trend starts, and we have this breakout. So we're going to put this new flagpole right at the beginning of that breakout, or right at the bottom of that breakout, I should say. Right about there. And that gives us a new price target on NIO of almost $74 exactly. So that's what I'm targeting for NIO right now. I would like to see one more candle close above that resistance, but we're so far above that resistance now that I think that is almost a certainty. I just want to see one more candle just because that's kind of my rule. I like to see 2 or 3 candlesticks close above the pennant or the flag, whatever we're looking at, before I get into that trade, okay? That's what I've got for NIO. Let's move on to Zoom. All right, so Zoom, I've been tracking on this channel for a couple of weeks now, actually probably a month now, 2 head and shoulders patterns. And it looks like one of them is starting to play out a little bit more than the other, but in the last video I put out on Zoom, I did say we could see both of these head and shoulders patterns play out at the same exact time. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. We've got and I've got the 2 necklines drawn out. If you're wondering what these blue lines are, those are the necklines for the head and shoulders. So we have a shoulder, head, and shoulder right there. You come down, you touch the neckline, and you head down. And that's been playing out pretty dang close. You know, it hasn't been perfect, but it's pretty close. The other head and shoulders is using this as a neckline. We have shoulder, head, shoulder, and we're breaking below. And look what we did today. We put in a big green candlestick right there. So that kind of tells me, you know, we're probably going to start heading up to this neckline to kiss it and then down from there. So you can see in this scenario I just drew out, both of these head and shoulders are playing out at the same time. So I do think we probably head up. It's going to look good for Zoom here for the next couple of days while we head up to this neckline. We're going to get close to it or touch it or maybe go slightly above it, maybe slightly below it, and then we're going to turn and we're going to head down south pretty hard and pretty fast. I do think that's what is happening for Zoom. That's more of a medium-term play. That's probably going to take, I don't know, a month to play out, whereas over the next week it's going to look good for Zoom while it's moving up to that neckline. So that's what I see there. I do not like Zoom medium to long-term here. I think it's going to crash. And this isn't going to look good for me over the next week because it's probably going to go up. But I'm calling it right now. I think it's going to go up over the next week, and then it's going to crash. Okay, that's what I got for Zoom. That has been playing out to a T, you know, according to these head and shoulders so far. All right, Alibaba. Let's look at Alibaba because similar things are happening on that chart. We have another head and shoulders pattern. Right, we've got our shoulder, head, shoulder, we broke below, and now look what we did. We came up here, we almost touched the neckline perfectly, and now we are dropping again. And we are probably halfway through this drop now, maybe not even halfway, maybe only a quarter of the way through this drop. Let me delete that so you guys can see. But if I zoom in a little bit closer here, you can see we came down to make that first wave. We came up and touched the neckline, and now we're starting to head back down. So I would not be surprised in the least bit. In fact, I am expecting Alibaba to crash further from here, much further from here. I have a couple of price targets on this one. No, sorry, I don't have a couple. I have one price target on this one. I've made that price target in videos in the past, but I can do another one real quick just because I don't remember it. You measure from the neckline up to the top of the head. You get about $59. We'll call that $59, and then you take wherever you kiss that neckline and you drop your $59 from there, and we are going to get roughly, because this doesn't like to stick perfectly on 59, but you get roughly $185 to the downside target. So we are currently trading Alibaba at 227, so there is a lot of downside risk here, about $40 of downside risk on Alibaba, and this chart's at just 24%. So not looking good for Alibaba right now. I'm staying away from that one and Zoom. Okay, let's move on to PayPal. What do we got for PayPal? Okay, yeah, we had this bull channel going on PayPal, and I thought it looked really good because we had this big old bull trend coming up, and then we chopped sideways in a perfect channel right here. We had these 3 touchdowns. We had these 3 touchdowns up top. It was a perfect bull channel coming off of this huge bull trend, and then we broke above it. And I thought it looked so good for PayPal because you can project to the upside. The size of this channel is your upside on top of the resistance. Well, we started heading there, and now we started to backtrack. And it looks like we're getting close to touching the top of that resistance right there. And it's okay if we stay above that resistance. I do not want to be in this stock if it breaks below that support. Sorry, I've been saying resistance, haven't I? I meant support. This was resistance. It's now support now that we're on top of it, right? It should be a pretty strong support level because we've seen it act as resistance so many times in the past. So it should be pretty strong support. You can see it kind of acted like support today. We bounced off of it and we closed a little bit higher on the day. You can see that candlestick wick underneath it. So we closed a little bit higher. We bounced off of it, but I do not want to be a part of this stock if it breaks below that support. I am in this stock because I do think that it is heading higher eventually, but I'll probably sell if we break below that support. Okay, so that's what I've got for PayPal. Let's move on to Fuelcell. Fuelcell, we saw a bull pennant on this one with a huge upside projection. It was massive. We were targeting the $16 range, and we got about halfway there on a huge move up, and then we've been chopping kind of down, sideways and a little down since then. So here's the thing with Fuelcell. I'm still in this one. I still see $16 as the target. These projections, they don't happen overnight. Not all of them just shoot straight up. So this could still hit $16. It is looking more unlikely that it's going to hit it. So I'm staying in this one for now until we break down a little bit further. I don't know when I'll get out, but I think I got in around the $9 range. I don't remember exactly, but if we get down to that $9 range, I'm probably going to get out because then the pattern will just be broken, just won't make sense anymore. So, but if we head up like tomorrow and we keep heading up from there, then I think this pattern is still in play and we could see $16 soon. So that's what I'm looking at for Fuelcell. Basically just watch the candlesticks over the next couple of days. If you start to see just more sideways action or a little bit of downside action, then this pattern is probably busted and we're not going to go to $16 anytime soon. But if we see a little bit of strength, if we see a little bit more buying and we start getting these little green candlesticks, then we might start to get a bigger green candlestick here and there and hit that $16 target. Okay, that's what I see for Fuelcell. I am in Fuelcell, like I said, and I'm sticking with it until we get a couple more candlesticks and see which way we're going to head. All right, last one. Let's do Pfizer real quick. Okay, so Pfizer has this huge, and I got to scroll way back because this is a very big pattern. Huge inverted head and shoulders going on here. Inverted head and shoulders is very bullish for a stock. It's a very strong pattern, very high level of accuracy to hit its price target once it has flipped to the upside after that last wave. So that is where we are approaching. Actually, we need it to bounce off this neckline right here, flip, and head up to the upside. Let me draw out this head and shoulders for you real quick because it's such a massive pattern. So we've got our shoulder right here, our head right here, another shoulder, and then we break above the neckline, retrace, touch the neckline, and then head up from there. So that is the plan. This is the same thing that is happening on Zoom and Alibaba, except upside down, right? Zoom and Alibaba, I'm predicting crashes on. I've been predicting crashes on them for weeks now, and they have, for the most part, come true. That we're at least halfway there on these crash predictions on those. I'm predicting a strong rally on Pfizer. We just need it to basically start to rally. It needs to start to rally. I know it's looked bad over the last week or 2 weeks because we're finishing that last wave to the downside. But just like with Zoom and Alibaba, in the middle of a crash, you have these smaller waves to the upside where your prediction doesn't look so good in the short term, right? So this prediction has not looked good for Pfizer over the last week or two because we've been heading down, but that was expected, and I've been saying that in these videos that you have to finish this last wave to the downside and touch that neckline right there, which we have done almost perfectly. I mean, look at these candlesticks. They have almost perfectly touched this neckline right here. Shoot, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to grab my other tool. There we go. Basically perfectly. It couldn't get any closer than that. Hit this neckline, and now we need to turn it and head up. And I do think that is going to happen starting this week because we are so close. We've touched it twice now. It is time for this stock to turn up. We're going to be turning up in the club with Pfizer, my friends. Okay, that is all I got. I am very bullish on Pfizer going forward. NIO bullish, PayPal bullish, Fuelcell bullish. I see crashes for Zoom and Alibaba. That's all I got for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. I'll see you there, Aaron, and in the next video. Thanks, guys.